What if tomorrow you woke up and just like that, you had the body you've always dreamed of? Your health was on point, energy levels were high, and your confidence, through the roof. Completely Possible Fitness wants you to know that it's possible to change your life and make your dreams come true. We specialize in weight loss, muscle building, functional training, group exercise, and nutritional advice. Don't let another day go by not having exactly what you want. Contact Copo Fit and let us help transform your life. Copo Fit is on all social media, or you can email us at copofit@gmail.com. That's COPOFIT@gmail.com. Do you love drama as much as I do? Plot shifts and heart-pounding turns will keep you enthralled in the new book, Soiled Sheets by Phoenix Ash. Dana and Marshall are drawn to each other, but their flame has a tendency to burn and splinter all that once mattered, quite possibly even each other. Will they make it through the debris or become part of the ruins? Find out when you purchase your copy of Soiled Sheets by Phoenix Ash, now available via Amazon Books and all Kindle devices, and it's free with Kindle Unlimited.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at?
Well, actually, I live in Delaware now, so does that make me a Delawarean?
Sing it, girl.
You know, Beyonce is my friend in my head. Jay my people sometimes, too.
Yeah. I mean, like, be true, man.
You know, when I was a kid, I had an imaginary enemy. Like, does that make me crazy?
Life as P, presented by Say What Radio.
Hi, welcome to Life is P. I'm your host, Phoenix Ash. If this is your first time joining me, I appreciate you. If you are a repeat listener, I appreciate you as well. I'm so thankful to have a platform where I can air out whatever the hell is on my mind and what I'm going through as an independent writer, as well as a first-time mom, an entrepreneur, just all kinds of things. And I'm glad you guys can relate. I'm so thankful for all the messages that I receive in my DMs, for all the shout outs I get on Twitter or Facebook. Definitely appreciative of everyone who's purchasing my novels In Her Makeup, as well as Soiled Sheets, both available on Amazon and Kindle, by the way. As well as people who are listening to the Audible of Long Neck Bottles. Thank you. Thank you. That's doing so much better than I expected. I know it says a lot about my expectations, but I'm so appreciative. So if you haven't tried Long Neck Bottles on Audible, it's a great guide for you. It's a great cheerleader for you if you are chasing your passions, if you are pursuing a goal. It is a good place to feel supported, encouraged, and have a conversation with someone who's relatable. So I hope you'll take part in that. So today on our show, I was going to talk about how wonderful it feels to accomplish something. So I had the day off and I was like, oh my God, I can finally sleep because my newest book, Musings While Binging, is in its final stages and I'm about to put it out. And I don't have to work on anything. So I'm sort of in between books, about to start the outline of the next book. And I just was like, I'm not sure I know what to do with myself. And it just felt so good to be accomplished that I got up and I started cleaning, preparing for my daughter's party. And then I outlined at least the first draft of outline for the next book. So I guess I don't really know how to rest, but it just feels so good to be accomplished. But beside that, I started to like scroll through my Facebook and scroll through my Twitter. And I really want to ask the question, when people say that they are cutting like everybody off or a fourth of their friends list or anyone who has not supported them and so forth, blah, 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 blah. First of all, is it necessary to declare this? So is this a declaration for, and I think we need to ask this of ourselves. When we make these type of declarations, are we trying to wind up that last ditch effort? You know, do we think that people will see this post, identify as someone who will possibly be cut off, and then turn their behavior around or reach out to us or inquire what we're talking about? Is that why we make the declaration? Or is the declaration made because we need to talk ourselves into doing this? If you're anything like me, it can take a long time to cut someone out of your life. And sometimes you have to keep saying it and affirming it and making yourself believe all the reasons why you should in order to go through with it. So I'm not knocking anybody who's making the declaration. I'm just curious as to why the declaration needs to be made. And then why does it need to be made every so often? Because at one point, I'm thinking that maybe it's not necessarily the people that need to get cut out of my life. Let's use me as an example. It's not necessarily people, but maybe it's my behavior that I need to cut out. So whether it be looking for people to do more than what I'm doing for them, looking for people to get aligned with my vision despite how misaligned it is with theirs, am I looking for more love and more support in ways that I have not professed? So I'm looking for people to buy my book, but I'm not advertising it. Or I'm looking for people to attend my party, but I haven't sent invitations. You know, stuff like that. Or I haven't sent reminders. Or I'm not having conversations with these people on a regular basis, so they find it strange that I'm inviting them somewhere. Or because I'm not having conversations, maybe I'm not aware of what is going on in their life that would make them say no or make them unresponsive. I don't know. So sometimes I think we need to look at our own behaviors and say, maybe that's the thing I need to cut out. And when we do that, I think over time, when we clean out certain things within ourselves, the people who are not for us kind of like dwindle away. You know, when we don't have the behaviors that attracts those people or let those people know that it's okay to be in and out or to be unsupportive or to look for support when they don't lend any. If we, too, stop responding to stuff like that, eventually those people kind of go away. So I don't think that, at least for me, I don't have like this monumental day of I'm cutting everybody out. You know, I get it. Sometimes you need to just clean out and you're just like, you know, yes, it was my behavior. It was what I accepted that kept so many of these kinds of people in my life. So I just need to do a sweep. But what are the things that we're doing to prevent another group of people needing to be swept away? By no means am I saying that people who treat you poorly or people who are not supportive is your fault. I'm not saying that it's your fault that these people are the way they are. However, I am saying there is something that is attracting a group of those. If you have several people like this in your life, and I'm talking about when people say they sweeping, in my mind, I think you sweeping 20 to 50 people. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're trying to sweep 3 and you just need to make the declaration. I don't know. But I'm thinking, wow, if you have 20 to 50 people in your life that you need to sweep away every so often, what made you accept those people in your life to begin with? Who were they at the beginning? And have things changed? Or did you accept them in your life or accept them as your friend on Facebook or follow them on Instagram with an expectation that they didn't fulfill? And that's good or bad. I don't know. There are people that I've followed, you know, if you ever look at my Instagram, I probably I'm not the person to boast thousands and thousands of followers, at least not today. And primarily, it used to bother me, but primarily because I thought that no one was delving into my content. No one was appreciating whatever it was that I was putting out there. But when I started matching numbers to people who were purchasing my material, I stopped worrying. It's a good ratio. It's a very good ratio. So I stopped worrying because I was like, well, what is the point of having 12,000 followers and only 50 of those people are purchasing the product that you're selling? That's not those 12,000 people. Like, who are they? What do they want? What are they doing? Are those people who plan to purchase in the future? I don't know. Maybe. But, if you're anything like me, your dollars, your mortgage, your feeding your child, taking care of yourself is a right now type of thing. So I'm not going to. And then just the numbers are fickle. There's so many, how many times there's something that follows me. It's like, get 50,000 followers or get 10,000 followers today, or sign up here and get 3,000 followers. So I'm guessing my numbers probably could reflect that. But if they're not purchasing, I don't know. And I know when you're selling a brand, you need to sell an image and you need to give a perception, which is probably why I find it difficult to market, because if it's not authentic, I really don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to manage it. I'm not prepared for when someone sees through it. If I do anything that's not authentic and you see through it, I'm so embarrassed and I don't know, I feel like I failed. So I try not to do anything that I can't stand behind. And I'm learning that that's an extremely slow grind. It's an extremely slow grind. However, having the reputation of integrity matters to me. And that's a great part of my grind. That's the grind that I'm always proud of. That's the part of my grind that lets me sleep at night, lets me look my daughter in the face and smile and say, it might be okay if you end up like mommy. There was a time that I was raising my child not to be like me, or in my mind, I was like checking off all the things that I have wrong with me and trying to steer my child in the opposite direction. And she's only 3, right? Can you imagine? She's going to be 3. But I am at the point in my life where I'm proud of what I've done, proud of what I do, proud of the work that I put in, the grind, the work ethic. I'm proud of it. So I'm proud of all the work that I've done outside my career. I'm proud of the work that I've done within myself to heal, to put myself in situations where there is as much love as possible, to be someone who people can rely on, who people can ask for help, who people can think of as someone who really poured into them. I'm proud of all of that. So now when I look at her, I'm like, okay, mommy don't have 12,000 followers. It's okay. It's all right. But mommy lives a life that she's proud of. And I think that is worth more than anything I can put a number on. But when I'm looking at my friends and family and some more distant than others, and these declarations come across about who to clean out, I never worry if I'm one of those people you're going to clean out. Because of just what I talked about my daughter, I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of what I've done. And I know that if there's an opportunity for me to pour into you, I will. And I appreciate every time someone takes the opportunity to pour into me. And I express that. So if I'm one of those people you're going to clean out, I'm kind of like, oh, well, okay. I might have done something to offend you. I'm not perfect and I easily offend, just like I'm easily offended. So I get that. And it used to bother me. I did the whole episode about people putting me on ice, but it used to bother me. It really doesn't, because I got a slick mouth sometimes. Sometimes I move funny. I don't know. That's what people think. I'm real authentic with it. So it just may not align with your spirit at the moment. I don't know. I don't care. I do care because I don't want to hurt you. However, if I'm someone you need to get rid of in your life, I'm okay with it. I am. I'm okay. There are very few people in my life that I would not be okay if they decide to say goodbye. So I'm an only child, was raised without my natural parents. I've talked about it before, an emotionally abusive uncle. you getting rid of me from your life is not the worst thing that's ever happened to me. So I'm okay. But I don't want the people within my circle to live the kind of life that requires them to sweep people out often without doing the work of looking inward to say, well, are there certain behaviors that I want to clean out from myself? Because if I clean out some of these behaviors, that might take care of the sweep, and it might take care of people that I don't know should actually be in the sweep. Like, I might be keeping some people that should be in the sweep. I might be keeping some behaviors, some situations, some relationships that need to be in the sweep. So if I work on me and my reaction to things, the things that I accept, the things that I go for, the things that I reach for, the conversations that I have with people, if I'm constantly pouring in and I'm in situations where people are pouring back into me, if I just keep focusing on all of that, I may not have to sweep. At least for me, that's what I found, because I too went through periods of time where I was like, I just need to start fresh. I never really did a huge sweep, but I used to move. Yeah, I used to move. When I was in high school, that was the first time I think I did it in a big way. When I look back, I didn't realize that was the first of a pattern. But ninth grade was fun. It was great, but things started to change. And a lot of people that I was close to were seniors. They were graduating. I just knew that the complexion of everything was going to change. It just wasn't going to be the same. And so I talked to my aunt, and she allowed me to go to a new school. And I know it's crazy, but administration was all for it. So it wasn't my idea from the beginning, but once it became something that was on the table, we contemplated. It was like, maybe it might be best for me to go to new school. So I pick a school that is all the way on the other side of Brooklyn. I mean, it takes 45 minutes to an hour to get to school, and I'm still in my borough. And I know no one there, no one. And that was the first experience I had where that was me starting afresh, starting anew. However, when I started afresh and started anew, there were behaviors and patterns within myself that I had not stopped. I was still me, and I still had all my baggage, and I had all my emotional issues, all my situations, all my everything at this new place. So of course, I had new drama. It wasn't that different. It really wasn't. And then I was lucky enough to graduate high school early. And so I only had to spend 2 years at this new school. And when thinking about colleges, I did the same thing. I want to go to a state where I don't know anyone. I want to go to a school where I don't know anyone. Everything is fresh. Everything is new. So I went to school in Virginia, and I brought all my stuff with me. Now, I brought a little less of it, I think, because I had in my mind that I was in college, that I was supposed to be more mature, and certain things were supposed to be put away. So there was a little bit that I left behind, a little bit I didn't take with me. But eventually, I showed up, and drama came right along with me. By the time I was a sophomore, it died down a little because I started to see that I was the link in this chain of events. But things changed a little bit my sophomore year, and I came back to Brooklyn, and I was somewhere where I knew a lot of people, and things were different for me because I had decided to be different. I had decided that there were certain behaviors I was going to put away. There were certain things that I was no longer going to welcome into my life. Now, it wasn't cold turkey. It wasn't within a matter of a couple of months, because sure enough, I got into a relationship where it had me accepting all kind of crazy stuff that I would never have accepted before, all in the name of being different. And that was probably my worst relationship. However, that was the relationship I was in when I met my husband. So I'm okay with it. But, I was in this situation trying to be different, trying to clean. So I did leave some stuff behind, and my life did start to change. However, I didn't recognize that there was some other stuff that needed to be cut off, and cut off quickly. And it was my first time in a relationship where someone was so verbally and emotionally and physically abusive towards me. I don't think I was prepared to handle it. No one sat me down and said, you're of age where you're going to have adult relationships and some adult things are going to start happening. And you've been, blessed thus far that you haven't come across this type of thing when you were in high school. But, men put their hands on women and talk down to them. So the same way that your uncle, who you think is, his own individual evil, he's cut from a cloth that other people are cut from. And so I expressed myself eventually. And of course, it was not welcomed. But eventually that person freed me. I wasn't brave enough, smart enough, quick enough, sober enough to leave him. So luckily he left me. Thank God. But after that, it was again, I had to go through my inventory of me and go, okay, what you doing here? Not that what he's doing to me is my fault and I'm attracting it, but what in me is not stopping it? That's my question. What in me is not stopping it? So you're going to express your free will and you're going to do whatever you want. You're going to either not support me. I remember he used to tell me what I don't do. Anytime I try to express my creativity, if it wasn't for his use, it was useless. And so, but I'm my own person, right? Aren't I? So I could stop this behavior. I could exit. And I don't have to declare it. I don't have to tell him I'm leaving. I don't have to make a big scene. I could just back away, or I could just go do my thing. If I would have just went and did my thing, he would have left much sooner because I wasn't someone who could be controlled. Once I did my own thing, for him, that would be, I had no longer have control over her and there's no need for her because he likes control. So, I could have changed that situation for myself. And this is not necessarily the case for everyone. There are some people who are in abusive relationships who can't see a way out because the person is threatening their life or threatening to kill themselves if you leave, like real emotional trauma holding you hostage. And I pray for those people. I pray that there's somebody who can get you out. I pray that there's somebody who can free you. I pray that you don't die within that relationship, nor do you die from exiting that relationship. I do pray for you because I know my situation is lightweight compared to that. But back on the whole cleaning people out, I honestly believe that if we do some work to clean ourselves out, to try to think about what behavior or thought pattern we have that welcomes people who are unsupportive, welcomes people who do not have our best interests at hand, and ask them to stay. Because I feel like who I am now, if you're unsupportive, if you don't have my best interests at hand, if there is nothing to benefit from the relationship, if all you're handing out is grief and sorrow, my personality, who I am right now, the things that's within me, the things that I currently have, do not welcome you and do not accept you taking a seat and staying a while. I'm clear who I am, who I show up to be is asking you to leave. Now, if you're resistant to that and there needs to be some friction and a fight, that's a whole different situation. But in general, when looking at our friend list or people in our circle, rather than doing the huge sweep, and maybe you need to do both. Maybe that's definitely an option. Maybe you need to do both. Maybe you need to reshape your life by reshaping yourself. And I get it. It's much easier to just cut people off than it is to start examining yourself and asking yourself, well, what invited them over here and what and who asked them to stay? What am I holding on to in the first place? Because like I say, you can cut people off. You can, particularly people who are unsupportive. If you're not, going through if you haven't been responsive, if you haven't answered, if you haven't engaged, I'm just going to cut you off. Just cut them off. They haven't responded. They haven't engaged. Will they even know that you cut them off? Will they? Because if it doesn't make a difference to them, then why declare it? Why make this huge announcement of what you're going to do unless you're trying to rally a last-ditch effort? And then that last-ditch effort, is it authentic? Do you want people to support you under a gun? Like, you better support me or I'm going to walk out the door. Do you want that? Maybe you do. Maybe you're like, whatever, support is support. I don't know. I don't know. I like genuine support. And I feel like I get that from this podcast. The people genuinely support me. I appreciate them. I love them. I love the messages. You guys know I love you. If you've ever sent me a message at my Twitter, which is @PWrites, or on my Instagram, which is also @PWrites, you know that I love you. I respond, I laugh, I joke, talk. I'm so regular with it because I love interaction, I love engagement, and I love to be surrounded by people who are accomplishing because they are pursuing. Pursue. And not every moment's going to be a moment of accomplishment. However, as long as you have your moments of pursuit, we're good. We're good folks, because if you support me, I'm going to support you. And sometimes I support first. But I'm also clear on, not inviting you to stay if you're just negative all the time, or you talk failure into my life, or, you go radio silent. Is that a thing, radio silent? If you go quiet whenever I release a project, if you're selling something, you're all over my page. You're not going to be here long. And it's not because I'm going to cut you off or because I'm going to make a declaration. Just who I am is not going to be comfortable for you, because I'm like, why are you here? Why are you here? And I think I'm just not going to be focused on you. And people like that need focus. They need attention. And that whole declaration is a focus and attention that I'm not willing to give. So anyway, I know I kind of was like left, right, boom, boom, up, down, but I think you guys get what I'm saying. So tell me, why make the declaration? Is it to talk yourself into it? Or is it because you're trying to round up a last-ditch effort? Or maybe it's something else. Reach out to me @PWrites on Twitter, as well as @PWrites on Instagram. Talk to me. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm right. I don't know. You got a friend who's like this, who's cutting people off left and right? I don't know. Let's talk about it, because I'm trying to get some clarity, because maybe I do need to make an announcement. I don't know. Do people care when I just kind of fall back? I don't know. If you're not already engaging, I don't know, because I'm cutting you off and now there's no opportunity for engagement because I just, fell all the way back. So I don't know. I don't feel like, and it's not to say that you don't need to end relationships and end situations. I'm not saying that. I'm just asking, why do we need to declare it? Why do we need to announce it to the world that this is what we're doing? I just want to understand. I want to know. Anyhow, I thank you for taking the time to spend with me. You can find me once again @PWrites on Twitter, as well as @PWrites on Instagram. My novel, Long Neck Bottles. Oh, sorry, that's not even a novel. I'm so tired. My motivational book, Long Neck Bottles, is available on Amazon, Kindle, as well as Audible. My novel, In Her Makeup, as well as my novel, Soiled Sheets. Dang, I don't even remember the name of stuff. They are both available on Amazon and Kindle. And I have a new one coming out, Musings While Binging. It's a great Christmas read, great stocking stuffer. So look for that within the next week or so, I believe. So that should be hitting the shelves. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your support. I thank you for your love. Is there anything that I can do to support you? Please let me know @PWrites on Instagram, @PWrites on Twitter. Until next time when we could do lunch. Peace.